When it comes to concealed carry handguns, I find that people talk about the power of the .45 ACP. They end up shooting pistols that are chambered in 9mm because the 9mm round is inexpensive and has minimal recoil. But more often than not, they carry a pistol chambered in .380 ACP because it's thin, and it's small, and it's concealable. It's the Gear Tester here, and welcome to my pocket pistol shootout. So we're going to be running a little self-defense scenario here today. We're going to assume that the target here and the steel target are actually the same target. And what we're going to do is we're going to take contact in some way, a knife, a gun, something's coming from the target there. We're going to draw our pocket pistols, defend ourselves, and then we're going to take cover probably behind one of these trees or anywhere. Okay, somewhere we're going to take cover. And then we're going to lean around after reload, or maybe we've conserved ammo, and we're going to take a precision shot on the steel in order to kind of test our skills as we get some movement and some shooting in, and then we have to make a precise shot. So that's what we're doing here today. The two pistols which will be featured in this video are the Kahr PM9 and the Diamondback DB9, both small pocket carry 9mm handguns. The whole premise of this video and the discussion that will come afterwards is the fact that we're not using tactical gear and equipment. What we're trying to simulate here is things you'd actually have on you. A pocket knife, a couple extra magazines, a pistol. Regular, everyday carry items that are reasonable to have on you when you might encounter an active shooter. You can see here we're starting off, and my friend here is not carrying around in his chamber. Practicing how we actually carry, and we're seeing how effective we can be. You can see there he's having to take time to rack the round into his chamber. This is his first person view of that identical encounter. Again, you saw there he racked the round into his chamber, took a couple round shots, and then is taking cover. One of the things that was hard to actually see sometimes or hear, we have hearing protection on, but that's electronic hearing protection, is whether or not you're actually hitting the steel plate. You can see there he's simulating an attack or being attacked or having a threat and not having to rack a round into the chamber, which I think clearly sped up his reaction time. This is me shooting, using rounds to try and get to cover. Every reload is not going to be a perfect reload. Coming up here and trying to now put rounds on the steel target. We're not shooting the steel target up close because we don't want to get hit by spalling, or the bullet coming off the steel there. But it also simulates potentially somebody who's shooting at you trying to move away from you as you're trying to move away from them, which is going to happen. So it's not just the same target in the same exact position here. Being careful to reholster my pistol safely in that pocket holster.
He's got a gun!
You think this would be easy, and what I was really surprised at is how hard it was to hit the steel plate. Just moving and shooting. It's easy to just shoot in a static position like you see me doing here, and do a reload relatively easily, boom, and just make it happen. But when you start trying to walk backwards and move and not trip and fall over, things get a lot more complicated, and that's one of the things that this helped me reevaluate or re-recognize. I knew this to be the case, but it's a lot harder to do this than you'd think it would be. You can see they're firing from a retention hold and then going to a secondary firearm. And that's one of the things we realized doing this pocket pistol shootout is having an additional firearm, a secondary gun, especially when you have small pocket pistols that are limited in their carry ability and limited in their round count. It'd be really nice to have a bigger pistol or another gun that you can transition to. I think it was important for us to practice reloading behind something. You can see I'm trying to stretch out, come around the corner and shoot here. An important technique which I've been taught in concealed carry handgun courses is to move from position to position rather than just staying at one static position and trying to hit a target, potentially switching hands and then coming around different sides of barricades and things so that the enemy combatant that you're engaging is not able to just sit there and just shoot at you from one position because they know where you're going to come out. using the first magazine to really create distance between you and an attacker, I think, is an effective technique. But you need to be able to quickly and efficiently reload that small pistol. And small pistols are a lot harder to reload. You know, I'm not a big guy, but the tissue on my hand is getting in the way of allowing that magazine to drop because the grip is short. And that would be significantly increase that difficulty in a guy that had a larger hand or a lady that had a larger hand. So these small pocket pistols are harder to shoot and they're harder to reload. And that's just the reality of pocket pistols. So I thought I would do a little comparison here of these two pistols that we've been shooting today. And we got the Kahr PM9 here and the Diamondback DB9. Diamondback DB9 is a cheaper gun, and the Kahr PM9 is more expensive. But they basically fulfill the same role, and that is a compact little 9mm that fits well in a pocket holster. And it seems to me that most people talk about carrying 45 or 10mm or a 357 Magnum. They end up shooting a 9mm because it's cheaper to shoot that. It's more affordable. And then they end up carrying a pocket pistol, something like the Ruger LCP or the Smith & Wesson Bodyguard, something like that. A very thin, very compact little 380. And that was the case with me about 5 or 6 years ago. And I ended up selling my little 380, my Ruger LCP, and purchasing this purchasing the Kahr PM9 because I wanted the power of the 9mm and I wanted better sights. And I wanted a gun that I just felt was more reliable, and the Kahr PM9 is a much more expensive but much more durable and stronger, just overall, in my personal view, gun than something like the Ruger LCP. It is a little bit bigger. These guns, comparing to each other, both in 9mm, the Diamondback is a little bit smaller, okay? It is a little bit thinner, and it does not have last shot hold open, okay? And as far as I know, and I could be wrong about this, this comes with a 6-round magazine, and you can purchase other 6-round magazines, but I don't think it has from the factory an extended magazine. In the case of the Kahr PM9, it comes, when you purchase it, it comes with a standard 6-round magazine, and then you have an extended, okay, 7-round magazine. And I like that. This means that I can get my entire hand on the pistol. I get that additional round, and I think that that is a cool thing. But pocket pistols are very useful. There are times where I just cannot carry an inside the waistband firearm. And because of comfort, because of the kinds of clothes I'm wearing, and a pocket pistol fulfills that role. And I really think, in my personal view, these two guns are the biggest pocket pistols that I find that I will carry regularly. The biggest pocket pistols I will carry regularly in a loading, the 9mm, that I think is comparable, that I think is powerful, that I think is effective enough that I want to have it on me. I'm not saying you shouldn't carry a 380, but these are better guns. There's no question that 9mm is more powerful. I have been shooting this DB9. This gun's not mine, it's actually my friend's. I've been shooting it for the better part of four years, okay? And it did have some problems initially. It had to go back to the factory. The feed ramp, okay, broke off, and that was a problem. And some of the pins were walking out, and that's a problem that DB9s had the better part of 4.5 years ago. But this gun since then has had hundreds and hundreds of rounds, probably thousands of rounds shot through it, and those problems have not occurred again. I find that I'm very accurate with this little pistol. It's odd, but with these kind of weird little dot sights and everything, I find that this pistol does a great job, or I do a great job of shooting this pistol at relatively long distances. The same can be said for the Kahr PM9. Both these guns have no safeties. Okay, they've got a long double action trigger pull. Okay, in both cases, a long double action trigger pull, and a good holster of some kind is your safety, right? And your real safety is keeping your finger off the trigger. But if you're going to carry these guns in your pocket and you're going to carry a round in the chamber, which is how I carry my guns, I carry my guns ready to go, and you should too, you're going to need to protect that trigger guard. So we have two DeSantis little pocket holsters here. One of the things you need to think about when you're shooting pocket pistols, and you probably saw me do this in the footage before I started talking here, is that when you go to reholster these guns, you probably should not, in fact, I'm going to tell you, don't just stick the pistol back in your pocket and try and find the pocket holster. Once you're done shooting, reach your hand into your pocket, pull that pocket pistol holster out, okay, and slip it on like so, avoiding muzzling yourself as you do that, so you don't cap a round off in your pocket and strike your femoral artery and die because you did something stupid. So pocket pistols are a unique little genre of guns, and they are different. I find today, as we shot these guns, what I found is that pocket pistol draw, even though I've got my hand on the gun in my pocket, is actually slower, for me at least right now, than strong side carry. Okay? Strong side carry is faster. I'm able to get my Garmin out of the way, get a combat grip on that gun and get it out. I'm able to get it out faster, actually, and I have always assumed that pocket carry was faster, and today I realize that that's not the case. And it may just be because I've been shooting and drawing from concealment with inside the waistband holsters a lot more than I have with pocket pistols. But it was a very interesting thing to do today, to practice, me and my buddy, to practice drawing from our pockets and shooting and moving and trying to use objects to get around like you might in an active shooter situation. Okay, we carry these guns for concealed carry handguns, and we do that regularly, but you need to practice with your carry gun. I also carry my Glock 26 very regularly inside the waistband, sometimes my Glock 19, but I've been carrying my Kahr PM9 more as of the last couple months, and so I wanted to practice with these pistols, and that's what you saw us doing. So just wanted to kind of do a little comparison video and talk about pocket pistols here. If you liked this video, if you found it interesting, I would encourage you to subscribe to my channel for more quality video reviews on the topics of shooting, camping, and survival gear. This is the Gear Tester, signing off.